ladies. Quick start. Attention, go.
Another great start from Montclair.
Oh, Montclair pushing. Montclair pushing. Well, this is where Montclair just has to lay it down, get a little angry, and just fight and fight in order to dig it out. Montclair has got some anger there, and they're moving. Their blades are great.
Look at those high strokes from the Montclair crew.
Racing here.
Into it.
Gonna need to answer this question from Montclair.
Fired up Montclair crew right to the end. I don't know who's got it.
Oh, boy. I know what my eyes saw. Montclair is now legend status. You heard it here first, folks.
Absolute
legend status.
I got started rowing in 8th grade. I started with the middle school program, the Learn to Row, and then afterwards, me and my friend Olive, we started doing Nereid's Learn to Row, and then we realized that Montclair was the better team, so we just joined freshman year, and we've been doing it ever since.
My mom told me to do the sport because in college she got asked to be a coxswain and she turned it down, and then right before my freshman year she heard from a family friend that they think I would be a good coxswain, so she emailed Lorna, and Lorna responded and said that I should come and cox for the season.
It was kind of like a decision between baseball, which I had been doing previously, and rowing, and I kind of decided when I went to a Learn to Row camp, and I was kind of on the fence of doing it, but it was kind of my mom who convinced me to do it because she talked about the added benefit of getting into college, so that's what kind of made me do rowing.
I have a lot of family members who did it, so it's kind of a family tradition, so I really had no choice in giving it a shot, and then I ended up loving it, and here I am 4 years later.
I started rowing following an ACL tear in gymnastics. I was out of sports for about 10 months, and I was kind of thinking, like, what can I do, because I love sports, but not being able to continue was going to be really hard for me. And my friend was like, hey, you know, you're really short, you're really small, you should probably come out to the erg room and talk with the coaches and try to be a coxswain.
So I played soccer for 10 years before rowing, and when I entered high school, my older sister was the captain of the rowing team at the time, and she convinced me to just do the training in the winter to get fit for soccer in the spring. And then I met some of my closest friends and had a great time and just didn't want to leave.
The thing that I love most about being on the crew team is definitely the community that I've found with the crew team. I think every year, like, the team dynamic improves, and it's been great to just get to know all of my teammates and make great memories with them.
I guess just the community aspect. Everyone is always there for each other. If, let's say, you're missing a race or forgot a t-shirt for practice, the whole team could support you. It really takes a village.
Definitely the community, being with the boys before a race, before practice, just spending all that time together. It's really one of my favorite things.
Is just rowing and
having the opportunity to improve every single day.
Just my friends on the team and just like everyone has made this experience just like the greatest of my life. And I know I'm just going to take this throughout the rest of my life.
I think being so close to a group of people and having so much trust in your team is really important. And rowing is the ultimate team sport. You literally have to be in sync with everybody. And it's just such a crazy feeling to be doing something so amazing with a group of people and be so close to them.
In one word, I would describe my time on the team with a change, because I think it changed me as a person for the better, and that's what the team really did for me.
Exciting.
Legendary.
Primal. I would say family.
I think my biggest takeaway from my rowing experience these past 4 years has been the ability to goal set. Like even as freshmen, we have these like big dreams of winning races like Stotesbury and the national championships. And it's been really good to just be able to like fulfill those goals through those 4 years. And especially this past season, it was really satisfying to be able to do well at some of the best regattas in the nation as a public school.
The discipline and the collaboration that I've learned along the way, I feel like rowing really forces you to learn how to work with others and learn how to work hard.
I think my biggest takeaway is probably just the discipline I learned, and just how the coaches have really pushed me to show up to practice on time and have my best performance ready, and really just to show up and do my best I can.
Time management. Rowing is an amazing thing to do, but it does take up so much of your time, and all of the athletes on our team are super academically inclined, and we all take hard classes, and just learning how to manage doing your homework, having 1 or 2 training sessions a day, and just being proficient in all areas is a big skill.
You can always do a little more. There's always something you can do. Even if it feels like there's nothing, there's always a little more you can give. There's always something you could do better.
Really to like be relentless and not to give up. You know, like you have your goals and just to keep chasing them.
My most memorable moments off the water were actually recently when we did boat bonding in one of the hotel rooms for Stokes this weekend.
I think team building activities like Queen of the Erg Room during the winter when we all race each other, because it's super competitive, but it's so exciting, and I love getting to cheer for the other people on the team.
One of my most memorable moments is freshman year in the hotel. We played pranks on each other throughout many of our trips, and we filled someone's room with balloons, and I thought it was a really memorable moment for me.
My most memorable moments off the water are at the SRA hotel when I walked into my hotel room and Joe Walker had covered my room in tinfoil. And then when we went into the bathroom, there were balloons everywhere in the bathroom and cups of water on the floor. And they were filled so high that when we were trying to like throw them out, the entire floor got wet. So for the rest of the trip, we had a ball of tinfoil in the corner of the room and the floor was just completely soaked.
I think just every time I'm around the people, around my teammates that isn't rowing, like the bus rides to the regattas or the hotel, and just like spending time as a team and becoming more bonded and closer.
It was definitely the 14-hour bus ride to Tennessee. It was insane.
So freshman year, I was racing at Head of the Charles, and we finished the race, and we had no idea what we'd gotten, and we got off the water, and all these parents were sort of holding video cameras in our face, and we were like, what's going on? And they were like, you know, you got a program record, and it was really unexpected, and we were all sort of really excited, and it was a really positive, fun moment.
I don't really have any rituals. I would say one of them is just going across my hat like this and then flicking it up before we start.
Before a race, I wake up really early, most times like 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then I put on my American flag socks that are like sparkly and knee-high.
I always wear my Lucky Talon socks to kind of freak everyone out a little because they're really realistic looking. And for really important races, I have nerd clusters for energy.
I always try to do my breathwork exercises beforehand and just do some positive visualization. Make sure I'm not in a bad headspace before I get started.
I like to tap the palms of my hands to the water when we shove off the dock and then rub them together.
I have one sports bra,
that I wear for every single race. It's a pink Nike sports bra, and I have worn it since freshman year, since my first race, and I have to wear it for every race. The 1V, we always do a goal for yourself, a goal for the boat, and a minute of silence to kind of group together and lock in.
My funniest memory is probably in like freshman year when I was racing in like a double, and it was my first race ever at the 3rd Manny Flick, and it was like a beautiful day. It was sunny skies, like absolutely gorgeous. We started our race, we get down the race course, it starts getting a little windy, and we finish our race, and then there starts to be like white caps, the sky starts getting cloudy and dark, starts to drizzle, and then it starts downpouring. And this is my first race ever, and I'm like terrified. And we're like rowing back to the dock, and it starts to hail. And we're like, I don't even know what to do, because this is like my first race. And we get to the dock, and we like pick up the boat, like, and so much water everywhere, hailing. And it was so windy that we thought the boat was gonna like fly out of our hands. And it was so funny.
Is when we did the ice bucket challenge, and they tried to throw the water on all of us, and it completely missed me and only hit Dawson.
Back in, I think it was junior year, it was a weekend practice, and we came in for the first outing, and we were getting ready to go out for our second outing, and Dan came in, and he was like, you guys know there's a boat floating halfway down the river, and there was just like a quad just floating halfway down the river.
Every spring break we play Assassins, and my junior year, my friend snuck in the girl who had me into her house to kill me, and I remember like there was so many tears, and I texted my coach for about an hour after. I was so mad. We had just gotten 5th at Stoats, but it was a really young varsity boat, and we had a great season. And someone found this like little doll sitting on the bank of the river, and it was like about this big, and it had really long hair. And it had Sonia written on its forehead, like spelled exactly how you spell my name. And it was so creepy and gross and covered in like river muck. And we assumed, can I say this? We assumed it was Mount St. Joseph who made the doll. It's like a voodoo doll. So we keep it and we bring it to every race now for good luck.
In the girls freshman 8, we, in our semifinal, we hit geese with our oars. And we had to just like keep going, and our coxswain was just like, okay, she didn't even comment on it. She just was like, we're gonna keep rowing. And we went back and watched the live stream, and the commentator didn't even say anything about it. And it was just the forgotten geese.
Definitely involve Avril's jokes. She always finds a way to make us like laugh whenever we're at practice, even after some of like the hardest rigging pieces or pieces on the water. She always makes us have a good time, so I've really appreciated that.
It'd probably be this year at Head of the Charles when we cut Avril's hair. There was a lot of screaming, and it was like an effort of like 10 people, and we cut probably less than an inch, but she freaked out, and it was pretty funny.
About 3 days into me joining, so I still didn't really know much, and I was in a novice boat, and we were doing like practice starts with the whole team at the top of the river. We were told about a minute before this happened that we were looking really good, and 3 strokes later we flipped.
The strangest thing I've seen floating in the Passaic was a mutated chicken. We were just rowing down the river one day, and this really deranged looking chicken floated by.
One time we found this like really tiny sandal floating in the water, and it was like this blue like sandal, and we picked it up out of the water and we put it in our boat, and we left it there for good luck for the rest of the season.
I once saw a raccoon crossing the river.
Once we saw a giant cat head. It was like one of those furry heads when people dress up as furries in the animal costumes, and somebody picked it up on their oar, and it was really gross.
A giant furry cat mask that I picked up on my oar and showed to the whole river.
Scuba divers doing like research. They're just kind of sitting there on the top of the water and waving us down, going, "Don't come here, scuba divers, scuba divers."
One time I did see a refrigerator. That was kind of crazy.
Maybe a fridge, or one time we saw a pig floating in the river.
This carcass of either a dog, a pig. It looked really strange.
One time there was this a dog, we think, because it had a tail and ears, but it was bloated and all its hair had fallen off, and it was absolutely terrifying.
There was this like dead animal carcass thing. I thought it was a pig, but I just found out it was a dog, so.
My favorite phrase that Jeremy says is crikey, and he only says it when he's really mad at someone, so it's really funny when you hear him say it.
Lorna gives the same pre-race talk before every race, and it's go fast, go faster, go fastest, or go hard, go harder, go hardest.
At the end of practice, Lorna always says, "Turn around and take it in, girls." And that's how you know that practice is over and we can go in.
Get sharper. Lorna likes to go like, jab it in, like that.
Lorna does a lot of hand motions, so she'll be like, you just gotta get it in and get it on. She loves this hand motion.
I think the funniest thing I heard was back freshman year when one of the guys in my boat, he was rowing like improperly, and Jeremy was like, "You row like Spider-Man."
This is when you're in the erg room and you're sitting at the start of practice and Lorna's not here yet because she's running late and everyone's sitting there waiting for the workout to be released. And then Lorna walks in and she's got this little smile on her face, like, and she goes, "You're welcome." And then it's the hardest workout that we've ever had. It's the most like god-awful thing.
Well, I always love when Lorna says, "Well done, girls," because you know you've always done a good job when she says that.
My biggest piece of advice for the underclassmen is to always stay positive and, remember the really good things and what you're working towards.
Don't go to morning practice, but just keep trucking, keep working hard.
Stay humble, be a good teammate, and have fun.
A race is never over until it's over. Like, you can never predict what's gonna happen next. Anything can change when you're racing, so you have to race all the way till the end.
Just work hard and really put in a lot of time and effort, and you will see the results in races if you work hard in practice.
Always listen to the coaches and do what they tell you because they have a lot of information. If a coach tells you to steer over 3 lanes during a race, you steer over 3 lanes during a race.
Probably just a lot of steady state. I mean, that's really what can really push you to be strong in your races and have that added power.
Just really have fun, enjoy your time on the rowing team because it does go by very quickly. So as soon as you'll know it, you'll be in the same position as us, like in the senior video, doing all the senior things, and just make the most of what you have so that you have a lot of great memories to reflect upon.
I think something that really helped me in my progression on the team is knowing that rowing might be the hardest thing that you ever do, but the effort you put in will turn into medals, and it's really rewarding to know that all the work you put in was worth it.
I would say just trust the process. Rowing is so amazing and so rewarding, but for that reason it's just equally as challenging. And there's going to be times where you don't want to wake up early, you don't want to go to practice, but there's a reason that we do all the training that we do, and for the same reason, that's why we win all the things that we win. So just trust your coaches, trust your teammates, and just know it'll be worth it in the end.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, the coaches, all my awesome teammates, any parent who's ever been involved with the regatta process. Thank you so much, especially to Ms. Hunt this year for making us delicious food. And yeah, thank you to any parent or alumni who's been part of the Montclair rowing family. And yeah.
I would like to thank my parents, all the parents at the 10 who really do an awesome job, the coaches, and all my teammates that make rowing such a beautiful and awesome experience for me.
First, I want to thank my parents. Thank you so much for everything, for always adjusting your schedules around my crew schedule and showing up to races to cheer me on. I would next like to thank Lorna and Jeremy for being such great coaches and seeing the potential in me to make me the coxswain I am today. Thank you to all of the parents for working so incredibly hard, waking up for those early hours for races and working all of the events. Your planning and your hard work does not go unnoticed. Lastly, I want to thank the upperclassmen from last year, my friends, and all of the underclassmen for welcoming me into this new environment and creating such a strong, great crew family.
First, I want to thank my parents for getting me into this sport and for supporting me in continuing it, and all the time it takes up. And then I want to thank the coaches for getting me to be really motivated about the sport and keep pushing me and being tough on me when I needed someone to be tough on me. And that one time when Lorna laughed at my recording really, really hard, which humbled me a lot. And I want to thank Miss Kieran's mom for all that she does at all the regattas and how much she cares for each of us, including Kieran Hunt. And then I want to lastly thank Madeline Young and all my teammates, including Madeline Young, for supporting me as well and for being super funny and amazing people.
I'd like to start off by thanking my parents for, supporting my rowing career and giving me the car for many hours going back and forth for practice. And I'd also like to thank Lorna and Jeremy for really pushing me to be my best and kind of making me into the person I am today. And I'm just really also thankful for all the parents who make everything possible at all the regattas and really make sure that the athletes can work to their best ability.
First off, I'd like to thank my mom and my dad for really helping me to succeed throughout my rowing career, from driving me to all these regattas and practices. I really appreciate their help. Second, I'd like to thank the coaches, especially Dan and Jeremy, for really pushing me to be the great athlete and person I am today, and really molding me into this really great leader. And last, I'd like to thank all the parents who helped set up at the regattas and really make this whole thing possible. It can't really be done without you.
I just want to thank God for all the opportunities and amazing people He's put in my life over these past 4 years. I want to thank my parents for dealing with my mood swings and understanding when I'm tired from practice. I want to thank them for driving me everywhere, staying involved, and I'd like to thank the coaches for all the support they've given me throughout the years, the alums, and everyone on the team, just making it such a great experience.
The biggest thank you goes out to my parents. You guys are the most supportive parents I could ever imagine, and you are also super volunteers, always in the tent, always helping with everything, always listening to me when I need to rant or talk about practice, and I can't thank you enough. Jeremy, Dan, and Lorna, thank you so much for all your flexibility and everything you do, whether it's 6 a.m. practice or 6 p.m. practice or anywhere in between. You guys are such dedicated coaches, and it's so appreciated.
I want to thank the coaches for teaching me to push myself. I want to thank my teammates for making this experience so special. I'm going to miss you guys so much. And thank you to my parents, of course, for being so supportive through the highs and lows, for driving me to practice, driving me to regattas, buying me new wrenches every time I lost them. I love you guys so much, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
The first people that I want to thank are my teammates. We put in so much work to this together, and you guys are what makes it worth it. The next people I want to thank are my parents. You guys have supported me through this whole process, and it means so much. And I also want to thank Lorna and Jeremy for keeping the whole team motivated, helping us develop, and turning rowing into something that was really important to me. And then finally, I want to thank all of the parents who help with all of the regattas, specifically Kieran's dad, who sets aside vegetarian food for all of the vegetarians on the team. That makes a difference, so thank you.
Hi! First, we want to thank our parents. Next, we want to thank all the coaches who make everything possible. Then we want to thank all the parents who help and support us at every regatta.
And we want to thank all the rowers who make every practice so special for us. Thank you.
I want to thank my parents and all the parents who worked at the tent over the season. I want to thank the underclassmen who made this experience so special for us, and I want to thank the coaches.
And I want to thank my parents who try to make it to every single regatta and have really made my high school experience so incredible. The coaches, all the parents at the tent, and the underclassmen who I probably wouldn't have rowed without. Love you guys. Thank you.
A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Take a look at where you started from and where you are today. You climbed mountains, swam emotions. You got knocked down and kept going. In the end, you know you got to say a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. All your wounds are healing fine. I'm so glad I got you in my life. Now the winter frost is gone. Now is our chance to live the life we want. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Everybody's lost, and that's okay. Some show it, some hide it, but there's a battle we're all fighting. So if you're looking for the words to say, a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Holding on to the rabbit's feet, walking down the sunny side of the street. Shadows creeping at your back. You can forget I'm like an amnesiac. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Love is really like a wonder drug. Let's medicate and say goodbye to the drama. It's a beeline to nirvana. If you're looking for the words to say, a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Take a look at where you started from, where you are today. You climbed mountains, swam oceans. You got knocked down and kept going. In the end, you know you got to say a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way.